I'm Rans Christine Quizon Lavador from Group 2, and today our group will be discussing the intersectionality and global perspective. But before we dive into our discussion, I will be introducing first the intersectionality and global perspective meaning. So, intersectionality is how multiple social identities intersect to affect experiences of inequality, while the global perspectives are understanding gender across different cultures and countries. So, this combination helps students see gender as complex, diverse, and influenced by multiple factors, not just one single category. In this topic, we explore how people experience gender differently, and intersectionality helps us see why. Intersectionality shows that a person's experiences are not shaped by gender alone, but by the combination of many identities like class, race, ethnicity, age, nationality, and more. By using global perspective, we can understand how these intersections change across different cultures and countries. So, that's all. The next, they will be discussing the key concepts.
Okay, next, let's have the key concept 1. What is intersectionality? Intersectionality is a term introduced by legal scholar Kimberly Crenshaw. In Gender and Society, intersectionality explains that gender inequality cannot be fully understood if we look at gender alone. People's experiences of gender are influenced by other identities. For example, a woman's experience different if she is wealthy or poor, disabled or able-bodied, or from a dominant or minority ethnic group. Intersectionality basically the idea that everyone experiences gender in different ways because we all have different backgrounds and identities.
Key concept 2. Intersecting identities and gender. Intersectionality teaches us that gender is only one part of person's identity. In reality, people belong to many social categories at the same time, such as class, race, ethnicity, age, religion, nationality, disability, and sexual orientation. All these identities overlap and interact, influencing how a person experiences the world. Because of these intersections, no people experience gender in exactly the same way. Even if two individuals share the same gender, their lives can be very different depending on their other identities. For example, a woman from ethnic minority group may face traditional challenges like cultural stereotypes or limited representation. An LGBTQ plus person may struggle not only with gender expectations, but also with issues related to their sexual orientations or gender identity. Third is, a person with disability may encounter barriers that others do not, such as lack of accessibility or inclusion. These combinations of identities shape a person's privileges, struggles, opportunities. Understanding these intersections helps us avoid generalizing gender experiences and reminds us that gender equality must include all people, especially those who face multiple layers of disadvantage.
Global perspectives on intersectionality shows that gender experiences differ widely across the world because each country has its own culture, religion, laws, and economic conditions. This means that people do not experience gender in the same way everywhere. For example, women in Nordic countries often enjoy strong support for gender equality with broad access to reproductive health care, education, and job opportunities. In contrast, women in conflict-affected regions may struggle with limited access to basic services and face higher risk of violence due to instability. Similarly, LGBTQ+ rights vary greatly. Some countries protect and support LGBTQ+ individuals, while others criminalize their identities. By recognizing these global differences, we gain a deeper understanding on how the gender issues are shaped by a person's environment, and we learn to appreciate the diversity of gender experiences around the world.
Real-life example, gender and global context. Here are some real-life examples showing the intersectionality in a global gender context. 1. A female migrant worker in the Middle East may face gender discrimination, nationality-based restriction, and sometimes language barriers. An indigenous woman in the Philippines may experience gender issues differently due to cultural tradition, economic challenge, and a limited access to service. A blank transgender woman in United States faces discrimination based on gender, identity, race, and class. These examples show how gender inequalities intensify when combined with other identities.
Intersectionality is the idea that people experience life differently depending on their combined identities, like gender, race, disability, or sexuality. Understanding intersectionality has a powerful impact on society. First, it helps create more inclusive policies. This means women, LGBT individuals, men, indigenous peoples, and persons with disabilities are better represented and protected. It also improves gender-based program by addressing the specific needs of different groups instead of assuming everyone faces the same challenges. Intersectionality promotes fairness in schools, workplaces, and even in lawmaking, making systems more equal for everyone. And most importantly, it encourages empathy. It helps us understand that people's struggles are shaped by many factors, not just one. When we recognize intersectionality, we move toward a more just, inclusive, and understanding society.
This conclusion highlights why intersectionality and global perspective matter when we talk about gender. It shows that gender isn't about identity. It's shaped by many others factors like culture, class, race, religion, and the society we grow in. Since different countries face different gender issues, looking at gender globally helps us see the bigger picture. Intersectionality also reminds us that people's experiences aren't same. So we need to be fair, inclusive, and avoid stereotypes. Overall, the conclusion says that these ideas helps us understand gender more completely and encourage a more open-minded and inclusive society.
As a group, we realize that gender issues cannot be understood by looking at a gender alone. Intersectionality opened our eyes to see how multiple identities create unique experiences, some easier, some harder. This topic helped us to understand why certain groups are more vulnerable and why gender equality must consider race, class, and other social categories. We also learned that global perspective allows us to see gender issues beyond our own country, making us more aware of global inequalities. Okay, that's all for today. So understanding intersectionality from a global perspective helps us see the world more fairly and exclusively. I hope this presentation sparkled new ideas and awareness. Thank you so much for watching.